Hi everybody, it's Dr. Ellie Stein, and I'm here to share what are my 3 favorite health-related podcasts and why. Now, podcasts are kind of new to me because when I was working at my medical practice plus running my online business, I had no time to watch podcasts no matter how amazing they were. And to be honest, I had no idea what I was missing. Now that I'm driving around in my van, I have the opportunity often to be listening to podcasts, and I find it's like going back to med school. I'm learning a ton. So the first podcast I started listening to was the Huberman Lab podcast with Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, a PhD researcher. He researches the eye. And everything he does on his podcast is somehow neuroscience related. So neurotransmitters, neuroplasticity, neuroanatomy, motivation, human performance, mindset, mental health, addiction, all these kind of things. He has top-rate researchers as his guests, and they go very deep. His podcasts are often 2, 3, even 3+ hours long, sometimes in multiple parts because they can't fit it all in. He has pretty good show notes that give the references of the papers so I can go back and kind of double check what I've heard. And yeah, I guess the strength of the Huberman Lab, he goes very deep. And I'm a psychiatrist, so all things neuroscience are of particular interest to me. Now, it was through Andrew Huberman that I heard about Peter Attia. Peter Attia is a MD internist. He has a concierge practice in, I believe it's Texas. And his focus is a little bit different. His is kind of more general health, how to stay healthier longer, how to avoid, for as long as possible, things like metabolic syndrome, heart disease, cancer, and dementia. He also has top researchers as guests. He also goes deep. Most episodes are 1.5 to 2.5 hours. He has amazing show notes, so I think he gets like the gold star for show notes. It even has diagrams. It has additional papers that weren't even mentioned in the show, but he thinks might be relevant. Sometimes they're like 50, 70, 100 pages long. So I love that. And I even joined his community so that I could get access to them. The third person I've been listening to is Whitten. Now, he runs a podcast called The Energy Blueprint. So as the name implies, it's all about energy, which is, of course, is of special interest to my community, to all of us. And his special passion is on mitochondria. So he's constantly having guests on, learning about new ways of boosting, supporting, and even challenging the mitochondria. Interestingly enough, he's not an MD or a PhD, though he's very highly educated. Of the 3 podcast hosts, he's the one that I actually feel the most aligned with. Over his many years of study and interviewing people, he's come to many of the same conclusions I have. He's backing off a little bit some of the fancy supplements and interventions, and he's really pushing the everyday lifestyle and diet strategies that I also feel are really foundational to good health. I also like that he doesn't shy away from the hard questions. He's perhaps a little bit more likely than the other 2 to be the devil's advocate and really try to pull out from his guests, like why, what's the rationale and the proof or the evidence behind what they're saying. All 3 hosts, I respect them for trying. They're constantly trying stuff themselves. I would say sometimes even to extreme, more than I would. But still, I really respect people who are kind of putting their money where their mouth is and walking the walk. They're all very credible. They really have a science-based focus. And I think you'll get a lot of value from all 3 podcasts. If you listen to them, let me know what you think.